guys. Instead of a war room, I'm gonna be doing a tidbit. It's really weird because today I plan to do a war room. Like, look, these are my notes. These are the Bible verses and everything. Hold on, let me flip it for you guys. Like, I was dead set ready to do a war room because we're doing a series, so I don't understand why I wouldn't be continuing the series. But as we know, God's ways are not our ways, and what I thought that you guys needed for this week probably wasn't what you guys needed at first, because I was feeling really mind blocked. I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna start this, let's go. But I was feeling really mind blocked, and I was like, why? It must be Satan trying to get me off course. But sometimes God is like, I know this is usually how you do things, one series after another, but let me do it my way. This is something that somebody needs to hear. So I know for a fact that what I'm about to say is something that somebody needs to hear today. So I want to be able to say it. I don't know what I'm gonna say yet, but I know I'm gonna say it. This is so weird. I want to start with prayer though, because I want to be able to tell you guys exactly what you need to hear. Like every time, but this time it's a little different because I don't have anything really planned. So let's go. God, thank you for another day. Thank you for bringing us together. Please let me be your mouthpiece and help me be able to be used so you can speak to your people. In Jesus' name, amen. Let's go. I'm reading from my phone because I don't have an NLT Bible, but NLT is factual. It's more like closer to the original version of the Bible, and also it's easier for people to understand and read along with. I am gonna be reading the parable of the rich fool. I had read it probably a couple days ago because I'm reading Luke right now, but I didn't think that I was gonna be speaking to you guys about it now. I thought I was gonna be speaking after the series was done, but God's timing. So it's in Luke chapter 12 verse 13 through 21. So I'm gonna read this for you guys and break it down. Then someone called from the crowd, "Teacher," when she's talking to Jesus, "please tell my brother to divide our father's estate with me." And Jesus replied, "Friend, who made a judge over you to decide such a thing as this? Who told you that you have the authority to tell your brother that you have to divide, that he has to divide his land with you?" And then Jesus said, "Beware, guard against every kind of greed. Life is not measured by how much you own." Let's just pause right there, because that's a really big piece right there. Life, your existence, the very fathoming of your existence does not matter more just because you have a lot of money. If you're not a good person with a lot of money, then you're not a good person with little money. I don't care how much money you have. And God says that he's no respecter of person. That means that everybody's on the same level. So if Jesus even says that the master is equal to the servant. So everybody's on the same playing field with God. Like, nobody's better than the other person with God. So God doesn't care how many riches you have. You're still on the same level as everybody else, which isn't really common thread in our society today. Like, a lot of people say, oh, money doesn't mean anything, but we still think it does. Because if we see somebody with a Lamborghini, we say wow. Or if we're not into physical things, if we see somebody with a lot of horses, we say wow. If we see somebody with a lot of land, we say wow. There's always something in this world that has to do with riches that makes somebody say wow. And I'm not a really material person. I don't like how gold looks on me. I don't like pearls. These are my necklaces that I wear all the time. But I have to say that if I see somebody that is better off, sometimes I have that inkling, because sometimes I haven't had the easiest life, so sometimes I feel like, I kind of wish that I had what they had, kind of thing. Not in the way of greed, but just wishing that I wasn't in the predicament that I'm in. But then I have to snap myself back into myself, and I have to be like, whoa, wait a minute, God has brought me through so much. It's so ungrateful for me to not exactly want that, but say, oh, money will make my life easier, because money doesn't make your life easier. You can have all the money in your world. Look at all the celebrities with all their problems. They have all that money, but yet they still have so many problems. So it's not the fact that God's just like, you shouldn't want to be better off, but you shouldn't act like money is what's going to give you your worth. You shouldn't act like money is what's going to give you peace, because it's not. That's God that gives you peace, because you can't find peace in money. If you could find peace in money, there will be world peace, because the people that are in charge are the people with the money. So if people with the money are at peace, then everybody else underneath them would have peace. Wow, I just got that right now. Money doesn't bring you peace. I've always said that, but I didn't have a reason why. Now I have a reason why. Money does not give you peace. If it did, then the world would be in peace. But let's keep on going in the word. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. Then he told them a story. We're on verse 16. A rich man had a fertile farm that produced fine crops. He said to himself, what should I do? I don't have room for all my crops. Then he said, I know, I'll tear down my barns and build bigger ones. Then I'll have room enough to store all my wheat and other goods. This seems like a good idea to most people, but when you really think about it, he could have been giving it away to some of the poor. If you have all this and you're not giving it away to other people, why do you have it? There's no way that you could eat all that corn. There's no way that you could spend all that money in your lifetime. Why not help other people out? So I'm going to keep on reading. We're on verse 19. And I'll sit back and say to myself, my friend, you have enough stored away for years to come. Now take it easy, drink and be merry. Now most people think, like, isn't that retirement and everything like that? There's nothing wrong with retirement. There's nothing wrong with having money. But the fact that it doesn't even come to somebody's mind that there's other people that need and there's other people that want. I'm not saying that you have to, I'm not talking about communism. I'm not saying you have to give every single thing that you have away to the poor. I'm just saying it didn't even come to his mind as a thought that there's other people that need. He didn't even think about that. So God said to him this, you fool, your soul is required of you tonight, which means that you will die this very night. Then who will get everything you worked for? Yes, this person is a fool that stores up earthly wealth but doesn't have a rich relationship with God. Now, let me just pause right there and explain this to you guys. God is basically saying here, you have all these riches. You have everything you need, quote unquote, which is not everything you need, and I'll explain that later. But yet you don't think about me. And by thinking about God, you would be thinking about other people, because God says love. And love requires of you to give to those that need. That shows over and over in the Bible. Again, it tells you to give to those in need. And the fact that it doesn't even come to your mind. There's nothing wrong with having a lot of money. There's nothing wrong with, because King David had a lot of money. There was kings in the Bible that did what God wanted them to do, and they had a lot of money. But that's not the point. The point is thinking about other people. The world deceives us today that if you have a lot of money and you earned it, then you don't technically owe anything to anyone else, which isn't true. By living, a lot of people, let me explain this in a way that you guys can understand. A lot of people think, wow, this is a really hard subject because it's kind of controversial. People are like, I earned it, which, of course you did hard work and everything like that, but there was obviously people under you that helped you out and stuff like that, and they deserve to be rewarded too. There was obviously people around you that have the same opportunity, but they don't have the same opportunity because they're in certain situations. Maybe their leg doesn't work and they're not able to and everything like that. Wow, this is a really hard subject to explain. Hold on. Some people say their calling in life is to help people. But in my opinion, everybody's calling in life is to help people. We just have different gifts to do so. If you're a carpenter, then you use your gift to help people have furniture. If you're good with words, then you use your words to build treaties with people so people stop fighting. If everybody in the world was using their gifts to help other people, the world would be as it should be. But since we're especially Western civilization, since we've grown to accept the fact that everybody's for themselves, that's exactly how the world's gonna fall apart, because we're of one house. And Jesus says a house divided against itself cannot stand. So if we're only looking out for ourselves, then our house isn't gonna stand. If my balance beam is only looking up to keep itself up, and it's not looking up to keep the foundation around it up, then everything's gonna collapse just because of that one person that wasn't doing what they were supposed to do, that one balance beam. So if there's millions of balance beam, millions of people doing what they're doing and using their gifts only for themselves, that's why the world's crumbling down. Everybody blames God, but He gave us the gifts, He gave us the tools to help each other out, but we decide instead that we want to be selfish and we want to think about ourselves. If somebody cuts us off in traffic, we think about, oh, they cut me off in traffic. We don't think, oh, maybe they have somebody in labor in the next seat. Oh, maybe somebody just died and they're trying to get there. You don't know, you don't think about that kind of stuff. And if you cut off somebody, the person in the car is the same thing. They're just like, oh, they cut me off. You're not thinking about that. When you're in traffic and it's because of a wreck, you're not thinking, oh my goodness, I hope that person's okay. You're not praying for that person to be okay. You're just like, oh, I'm gonna be late to work. It's sad in humanity that it's become common practice for a human life to be an inconvenience. I'm just gonna let that soak in. Human lives have become an inconvenience. Wow. And this isn't just a new thing, this is over history. And we like to blame everything else around us, but it's purely our selfishness. We don't want to look over there and try to help out people because that's their problem. They got themselves there. It's one of the many things wrong with this world, and it starts with selfishness. That's why, again, you need to guard your heart, because in Luke chapter 12, verse 23, it says, "For life is," this is Jesus talking, "for life is more than food, and your body is more than clothing." So you need to think about what's in here, what's happening on the inside, what's happening with the world all around me, what's happening with the people all around me. You need to be thinking about that stuff, because God said, I'll take care of you. He said, you don't have to worry about all these life things and everything like that. You don't have to worry what you need to put on. You don't have to worry what you're going to eat, because I'm going to take care of you. What I need you to do is take care of my people. Before Jesus left, he kept on telling the disciples, love one another, love one another, love one another. And love only happens when we lose selfishness. And if we have selfishness in us, then we can't love. We can't love completely. I don't want to water down anything I said, so I just want to leave you guys with this, because I know it's pretty heavy, so I want you guys to be able to think about it. In Galatians, so I'm just going to leave you with this last verse. In Galatians chapter 6, verse 2 through 3, Paul writes, "Share each other's burdens, and in this way you will obey the law of Christ. If you do think you are too important to help someone, you are fooling yourself. You're not that important." I just want to leave you guys with that. And I want to leave you guys with a blessing to just think about the next person next to you. And God, please help them throughout this day. You said that you can create in us a clean heart and renew a right spirit within us. Help us to be able to pay attention to you. And by paying attention to you, we see the hurt and pain between our brothers and sisters. And instead of being lazy, we can go out and help each other. Help us to be able to have that heart after your own heart, the heart to help. Help us to be able to help